today's video, I have a little thrift haul for you, and this is my first thrift haul, bins haul in probably like 5 or 6 months. So yeah, I have not been reselling. I pretty much burnt out from it. I moved across the country back to my home state of Oregon, and it's just been like so far on the back burner that I have not been reselling at all. So I was really excited to go back to the bins and get a haul to flip online. So I'm going to show you guys what I found. I think I spent like 3.5 hours there on this day, and I got some good stuff. There were some things I was more excited about than others, but I think overall it's a good haul and I should make a good profit. Each item came out to a little less than $2 per item, so there is a lot of room for profit. And these are some brands that I've flipped before and some that are kind of new to me. So I'm just gonna hop right in and show you guys what I found at the bins. And I hope everybody is doing well. Okay, let's hop right into it. First up is this pair, actually 2 pairs of Lululemon leggings. And they are actually in pretty good condition, but there is some pilling on the inner thigh area on both of these. And I'm kind of showing them just both together, especially because they're the same size. They're both a size 8. I figured I'm going to just sweater shave and see if that gets this out. If I can get the pilling out, these could probably flip for around $50 or so. Next up is this pair of Viore sweats, and they have kind of a tapered leg with a little bit of a cuffed or like cinched hem at the bottom with a drawstring to tighten, elastic waistband, and some pockets throughout, back slip pockets, hand pockets. This is a brand sold at Nordstrom, and I've actually only ever found swim trunks by this brand or shorts. So I haven't actually ever flipped a pair of pants, but I know that the brand is a pretty, pricey one, and one that people would potentially look on the resale market to find at a slightly cheaper price. So I'm expecting these to sell probably right around $40. I do need to, check comps again as I'm listing, but that's kind of just off the top of my head what I assume I'll make for these. Then I found this Eileen Fisher, kind of a cowl neck or a turtleneck long sleeve pullover top. And I didn't notice until I got home that I think it has a little bit of maybe an oil stain or some kind of darker mark right there. So I'm gonna try to get that out. I did wash all of this stuff already, but I didn't really specifically stain treat anything, so I might try to stain treat and then wash this one more time to get that out. But if it's an oil stain, then it's really not coming out, I don't think. Size extra large, and Eileen Fisher is definitely a more mature kind of a brand. This is a pretty basic item, but it felt in really good condition, felt very soft. And Eileen Fisher can flip right around $25, $30, $35 on either Poshmark or eBay from my experience. And I don't know 100% for sure, but I figured that this F22 little tag on the inside meant it's from fall 2022, which is only a little over a year ago. So, it being a newer item and still in really good condition made me want to pick it up, and it's an organic cotton blend. So, I think those nicer materials typically sell for a little bit more. Next up is this Carhartt pinstripe button front long sleeve top or long sleeve shirt in a size men's small. This one, I don't think I've ever flipped a Carhartt shirt, maybe like a Carhartt hat, but I just felt like this would be a good kind of fall winter item, and I just personally kind of liked the style on it. It has that, what is it, like train conductor kind of a look. So I don't know, I think I just personally liked it, and probably it's gonna be like a $25, $30 flip or so. Next up is this Hannah Anderson zip up kids jacket. It's got some dinosaurs throughout. It's hooded. It's got no pockets, full zip. Hannah Anderson is a premium kids brand that does pretty well when I've picked it up in the past. 100% cotton, size 18 to 24 months. I don't love to flip kids clothes, it's like not exciting for me, I guess, to flip, but this is a really nice brand, good brand, nice material quality. And it's a brand that actually sells pretty quickly and for a good profit. So I do like to grab it when I find it. Hannah Anderson pajama sets have done pretty well for me in the past. It's a brand that I'm, you know, semi on the lookout for, or when I come across it, depending on the item, will pick it up, but I would expect to get probably around $25 or so for this. All right, next up is probably one of my favorites from the haul because I love to find it and I don't find it often, but it is an Aviator Nation pair of sweatpants, just kind of their classic. I, of course, wish I would have found the 5-stripe down the leg. I think those sell for a bit more, but this is still just a good thing to find. Aviator Nation is a good brand to be on the lookout for. It's one I'm on the lookout for, and this probably will flip for 60, 70, maybe $80. So it's definitely a good flip, good find, and I was really excited to come across it in the bins. Next is this Pilcrow and the letterpress pair of, I don't even know what I would call these. I guess jeans, kind of a gray wash, or like kind of a gray-green wash. Don't know exactly how to describe it. For some reason the word moto is kind of coming into my head for these, just because of the zippers and stuff throughout. It's kind of got an edgier look to it. So this is a brand, Pilcrow and the letterpress, that is sold at Anthropologie. So I do actually like to grab it, and I've had good experiences in the past selling their pants and jeans. So this is something I figured I would try and flip. I'm gonna guess it'll sell around $30 or so, but I guess we will see on this one. So these are a size 29, and I'll probably list them right around, I think, 40, and then expect to get right around 30 for them. Next up is a new to me brand. It's called Warriors of Radness. Let me know if you've heard of this brand. I don't think I'd ever heard of it or come across it that I knew of, but the colors on it just really stood out to me, so I wanted to grab it and see what it was about. And I did check comps at the bins, and I remembered it flipping like relatively, you know, similar items were flipping around $40. So I'm not really positive what it'll go for and what I'm gonna list it at, but I thought it was really cool. And on the inside it says beach bum, which is very cute. So it's a men's small, and yeah, I'll probably just end up listing them right around 50 or 60 and then see from there. They kind of reminded me of like the Pop-Tart that has the same kind of colorway. I think it's like wild berry or something, but yeah, I just really like this. Kind of got a cool retro-y vibe. This next one's kind of a simple one, but I think it'll be a pretty quick flip. It's an Urban Outfitters t-shirt. It says, "Can you keep a secret? Don't tell." And it's got a graphic on the back. I just think this will probably be a pretty quick flip, and I'll probably list it right around 25 or so and expect right around 20 for it. It does have one little small stain right here, but I'll just point that out in my listing. Nothing you can really do about it. It's a pretty cool shirt. It'd be a cool oversized shirt. Next up is this pair of Madewell jeans. These are the classic straight jeans in a size 32. And Madewell is a brand I like to grab at the bins. I'm not picking this brand up anymore for like $10 at a regular thrift store. Not that I'm really going to thrift stores anyways lately, but that's still my threshold when it comes to Madewell. This is pretty much a bins pickup, or not something I'm going to spend much on. The comps might be there in a lot of cases, so if you solely do thrift at thrift stores, the profit might be worth it if you do find it for like $8 to $14. But since I find it so frequently at the bins, it's one that I kind of tend to reserve for the bins, and it's not one that sells typically for a high price just because there are so many, like the supply is high of these. So I do think that Madewell is a brand that I'm a little bit more picky on, well, actually quite a bit more picky on than I used to be, but this is a good style. It's a straight leg jean, it's a bigger size, and it is a slightly newer style. It's from fall 2020, which it says on this little style tag. So I figured they'd be a good flip, especially because I only spent a couple dollars. So even if I, you know, flip them for 25 or 30, that's still a good profit. I'll probably end up getting around 30, I would guess. So that is what I would expect for these. Probably list them like in the 40 to 50 range and then expect to get around 30 to 40, but they do go for I think like $120 new. So it's still a good you know, price point for the buyer to buy Madewell at that price. But I just don't feel like people are spending as much on Madewell anymore, or the value has definitely gone down a little bit. Next up is this Sundance ruffled, let's see, kind of cutout detail or lace detailed button front long sleeve top. And white is so hard to photograph. You can kind of even tell, I feel like, as I'm holding it up. I always have a hard time photographing white items. They just don't ever look that nice, but you can get the gist of it. This is a size large, women's large. Good condition, especially for it being white. I'm very thorough with checking at this point under the armpits, like all throughout if an item is white, but this is in really clean, nice, good condition. And Sundance actually does surprisingly well. I think it kind of depends on the style, but it's a brand that I have found in the past to do pretty well. And so I'm expecting to, you know, flip this one pretty quickly. And I don't really remember the price point that this brand sells at, but I will check comps and go from there. Next is this Guess Originals horizontal striped logo t-shirt. And I just kind of liked the style on this. I feel like these are pretty popular. It's just kind of a classic style. And I'm seeing a lot of these striped shirts over the last year or two. This one's a size extra large. And I think these are sold at Urban Outfitters, PacSun, like Tilly's, those kind of places. But they can retail from $40 to $60. So I feel like someone would, you know, if they want something like this, definitely check the resale market and spend a little less than that. But I thought this was just a cool shirt. I like the colors. We'll see how that one goes. It's pretty much the theme of this haul is we'll see how it goes, because I don't really know what's what these days. Okay, next up is this Woolrich Aztec or Santa Fe button front long sleeve shirt in a size men's extra large. And just thought this was a nice, you know, patterned shirt. I feel like this will be a pretty good flip. And Woolrich, I have sold it before. It's not one I will grab every time. If it were Smart Wool, which is sometimes when I see this brand Woolrich, I have to like think in my head, is that the brand that like I want to be finding? And usually it's not. I think I've only found Smart Wool one time, but Woolrich, you know, different brand. But I thought this item was unique and pretty cool. And it's definitely kind of a more structured, thicker material, kind of like a little bit more of a shacket. Next up is this J. Jill linen sleeveless top, and it buttons up in the back. And this is 100% linen, which is the main reason I grabbed it. J. Jill linen items tend to do pretty well, and they flip pretty quickly. It is an out of season item, but I think it still could flip in the near future, or it might wait a little bit. But it's super lightweight and 100% linen. Did make me want to grab it just because that does increase the value. Typically it's a nicer material, and usually if I do pick up anything J. Jill, it is because it's linen or one of those little nicer materials. All right, this is actually kind of what kicked off my bins haul. When I was at the Goodwill bins, I was there for, you know, a good chunk of the morning and a little bit of the afternoon, and this was the first thing I found that I was like, okay, this might actually be a good day. We'll see how it goes. But this is a pair of Levi's, and it is the premium label, which I'm always the most excited to find. These styles seem to do pretty well. So it's the wedgie fit in a size 30 with a button fly, and let's see, some distressing, a little bit of a tapered leg, some light whiskering. These are usually a pretty good flip, so I do like to grab them and pick them up. And they usually flip pretty quickly for a pretty high profit. So it's one that I am on the lookout for, the Levi's Premium, which has this little tag here and then the waterless tag here. So these are one to be on the lookout for, especially if you're not spending that much. And these were in really good condition. They didn't have any stains or anything like that. So I was happy to find them. And then not too long after, I found the Aviator Nation sweatpants, and I just felt like it was going to be at least a decent day at that point. All right, just a couple more. So this is a pair of Vince kind of workwear pants. They're sort of an olive green, or definitely some kind of a green color, with a tapered leg, and they do have just that workwear, office wear kind of a look with the two clasps here, that hook, and then a zip fly. They are size women's 18, and Vince retails for a lot, so I wouldn't be surprised if these sold for like $300 to $400 or so. Obviously they will not flip anywhere near there, but I think I'll probably end up listing these around $70 or so, and then expect to get around 50 to 60 for them. I do need to check the exact style, but Vince typically does pretty well, and it's not the Vince Camuto, it's just Vince. That one does, this brand does a lot better. It's sold again at Nordstrom, like Bloomingdale's, Saks Fifth Avenue, stuff like that. So it's a brand I would be on the lookout for, especially if it's something, you know, not just like a simple basic thin shirt, although even that might be worth something, but definitely jackets or blazers or pants or dresses. I think that brand can flip for quite a high profit, and it's not super hard to come by. I definitely feel like I've found it at least a handful of times. All right, and then this is the last one of the haul. It is this Tory Burch one piece. It is in very clean condition, and I did wash it. I barely ever find Tory Burch, and it was a size extra large, so I felt like I couldn't leave it behind. I assumed this will be a good flip. I gotta really check comps and everything and see what is going on with this style of swimsuit and this exact one in particular, but I was excited to find it, and it's super light, so it didn't add much weight to my total at the bins, because they weigh everything there. You pay by the pound if you're totally unfamiliar. But yeah, I ended up spending a little less than $40 on this day at the bins. I actually also got this, but obviously I'm not flipping it. I got it for myself because I found this exact one at Nike like 2 weeks prior, and it was almost the exact same, cropped with like a little quarter zip, but it had a little Nike swoosh, and it was like $70 retail, and it wasn't gonna happen. So I ended up finding this, and anyway, I'm gonna get all this stuff listed hopefully in the next couple days. I'm curious to see what the profit will look like, especially after not thrifting and reselling for so long that I kind of don't know exactly where things are at right now. So I'm curious to see how this haul goes, what flips quickly, what sits for a while, because inevitably that will happen. But yeah, I'm just curious to see how it goes, and hopefully I actually get this stuff listed. Photographing is probably my least favorite. Well, I don't know about that, but it just like takes a little extra motivation to actually do that, and I did that part. So hopefully listing is a piece of cake, and then I'll see what sells. So I'll keep you posted. All right, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.